What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It is finally time to work on my favorite car that I own. It's been a long time coming. I've put it on the back burner for ages, but here we are. I've locked out this whole weekend and we're getting to work on our beautiful Datsun 280 ZX. So I've been doing odd jobs on this thing whenever I get a moment in between working on all of our other cars that we have here on the channel, and I made quite a bit of progress in the background, so I'll update you guys on where we are at with this car. Now, engine wise, this thing is pretty well good to go. So she's got the heavy duty clutch in, everything else in the engine bay is pretty well sorted for now to go get a tune. We still have a bunch of work to do in the engine bay in terms of like this ugly batteries going, smaller batteries going in, nice oil catch can, but as it sits, this thing is ready for a tune, which is fantastic. But as you can see, she is currently very much in pieces while we get some body work done on this thing. So if you are new to the channel, we bought this car for $1,500 like at least 2 or 3 years ago. I put a lot of work into the car to get it to a point where I could drive it around for summer. So it had quite a bit of rust in the car. Basically what I did was I either covered up the rust with bog or just fixed it up enough to the point where we could drive it around for summer, which was amazing. I really enjoyed it. But I basically did all that stuff knowing that we were going to strip it back and actually do everything properly, basically. So after basically once summer finished, we stripped it down and we started basically cutting out all of the rust that we had in the car. So this whole section right here has been replaced. This was like this whole square here was a piece out of another 280 ZX that didn't have rust in it. This whole piece right here we replaced. Again, it was super rusty and it took me ages to find that piece from someone who was basically willing to cut that out of a car and send it to me. So it literally took me about 2 years, I think, to get that piece sent to us, but that's all a new piece. And then I've just been adding a little bit of bog here and there just to make it nice and smooth it out, but it had no rust in it, which is fantastic. Very happy with that. And then all of the usual suspect places where rust happens, so bottom of the seals and stuff like that where the water collects, because they did not seal these cars from factory when they put them together. So as soon as water kind of touched them, they basically started to rust out. So we are taking care of all of that and all the bodywork and getting this to a point where we can actually be happy with it. Now the boot is absolutely stuffed. That was done by a previous owner. The boot's clearly had an accident or a ding or something in it. They put a bunch of bog in it. I've had a real hard time finding a new boot, but we run our boot wing that you can actually see, the reel in the boot, the ducktail spoiler, which goes across the boot. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to fix this boot up to the point where it looks good whilst I continue to look for another boot. And then when I find another boot, it's pretty easy just to respray the boot and put it on, so it's not too much of an issue. But basically, like, this section up here will get nice and perfect where you'll see, but obviously the ducktail spoiler covers the stuff down here. And yeah, really just kind of, again, there was rust down the bottom here, getting rid of all of that and making the car just pretty much 99.9% rust free, all the rust that we could find. Of course, one thing about rust is when you go searching and it looks like a little bit of rust, it always tends to be a lot of rust. Here's an example of some of the rust that we've cut out of the car. And it's pretty hectic. As you can see, someone's obviously bogged it up before. So yeah, it's pretty gnarly. When you cut stuff out, you also have the opportunity to fish oil, like rust spray all on the inside and the panels, so you know that that's going to be protected for many years to come, which is pretty cool. So that's where we're at with the car, and now we're going to move forward and we're starting to get the car ready for paint. So basically we're doing body work from here on out. Hopefully by the end of this weekend this thing is ready to go into primer, and then I'm aiming to have this thing painted within a week or two, which is freaking amazing. So this video is pretty much primarily going to be all about body work. I got a couple of friends coming in and out to help us, which is going to be sweet. But basically we're going to be sanding, bogging, sanding, primering, sanding. A lot of sanding going on. It's a messy situation, but it's something that has to be done, and I'm so excited to see this thing finished. So without further ado, let's get started. We've moved inside because Tara is here with her R34. Tara's R34, if you guys don't know this car, RB25 DE Plus T Neo Turbo. This car is nicer than all of my cars put together, but it was filthy, so she's coming to clean it.
I feel like you guys only ever see me when it's time for me to clean my car.
Pretty much, but that's fine. They're just happy to see you, to be honest.
Happy to see you guys too. Bloody missed ya. It's been a long time.
Should we do some B-roll? Ready? Let's go B-roll of Tara cleaning her car. Boom. That was some nice B-roll, Tara.
Thank you.
Car's clean.
Car is clean now, except it's actually not very clean. It probably needs a bit of a clay bar, and I need to clean my lights and some other things. So
You don't point that out to them. You just say it's clean.
I mean, yeah.
On camera, it looks clean. Actually, it looks amazing in real life as well.
it is pretty clean.
What are our plans for this? We're doing R34 GDR conversion stuff on it.
Yeah, I want to change the bumper and the rear bumper and the front bumper.
Yep.
I need to get Damon from GMF to
Fab you up an exhaust.
fab me up an exhaust.
Nice.
I need a boost gauge that actually works.
Oh yeah, yeah, we'll change those.
That doesn't. And eventually one day in the future I'd like to respray, because I don't actually love this colour. I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
It's black, but it's got like a purple flake in it, which is kind of hard to see. You probably can see that on camera. Yeah, you can for sure. All right, I'm gonna keep sanding.
Nice.
Love ya.
Send it down the street.
Have fun. This sucks. It's so hard. No, it's kind of coming along. I thought this would be not that hard, but getting a flat surface like this to not be ripply is so hard. And like my arms keep dying, but... Alright, so I've been sanding for what feels like hours, because it has actually been hours. And there is progress. It's just really hard to show you because you can't really tell. The car's, I mean, the bonnet's on, so it's looking more full than it did last time. But I don't know if you guys can see in the light, but this bonnet, like look at that. It needs so much work to get it straight. It's going to be one hell of a mission. Don't know what the previous life of the bonnet was, but we're starting to get there. Kind of this section is more or less done. This is done. This section's done. This boot sucks and still needs heaps of work. Next up, we're going to be doing these bits. So I welded these plates in last night, actually, here and here. So I'm learning. Don't look at the welds too closely. It's really hard because of this old metal and just like the rust converter stuff that I used underneath and everything to make sure like the inside's not going to rust ever again. Made it a little bit difficult to weld, but we're going to shave away obviously all of the welds that are sticking out, and then we'll just give it a quick skim of bog. So that's what we're doing next. But first, let's go visit Woz and his FDRX7 because he's fixing it up so that we can go driving together on the 9th of December for Keep It Reek Friday Night Drifts.
It's standard.
What's going on?
I've got a horrible exhaust leak down here somewhere.
It's a funny looking rotary.
See you can show the viewers my burnt firewall.
Oh, you have a bit
down there.
Can you see it?
Yeah, that just there.
Oh, yep.
It's all like yellow and brown.
Oh, yeah, so that's where it's been exhaust leaking.
Yep.
Nice.
So we can pull it off and see if there's a crack in the manifold.
Yep.
That's irritating though, because that was $800 worth of glitter paint. House of Colour glitter.
Oh, the paint's a little sealed. You can't really see back there much, and it just looks like you've been driving it hard, so it's not a big deal. I know. I didn't notice it.
This car's meant to look nice, and then
nice.
We'll build another car that we drive that looks ugly.
No. This thing still looks good. When you pop the bonnet, I always go, whoa, because this thing just looks so good. Even though I've seen it a million times.
If you get a high mount in here, then it'll look really sick.
High mount manifold?
Yeah.
Sounds good for now though. Mad! If you guys didn't know, Woz is now in part of the factory, which is sick, doing fabrication work. So if you need any fab work, hit us up. And if you need any soju, hit us up also. But don't, because it's ours, not yours. Get out of it, it's ours. Yes! Cool, so I kind of finished grinding this down to where I can put some edge primer on it and then go ahead and lay some, bog over it and smooth it over. And then I was grinding a little bit and I was like, that looks a bit weird under the paint, like what's going on there? And then I come back and we've found some more rust, which is kind of heartbreaking, but at the same time, I'm glad I found it. It was obviously covered up from the previous owner, like some of the other stuff. So yeah, we're gonna have to cut that out and weld another plate in, which is a little bit gutting. That's a lot of work, guys, but ultimately it'll be worth it in the end. This car's gonna be beautiful once we're finished. So I just have to keep thinking about the end goal. We're gonna get there one day, but that's probably us for tonight. We're gonna come back tomorrow and carry on. Still got a lot more work to do. Still hoping to have this finished by tomorrow kind of evening, to the point where we could hopefully lay down primer this week, just block it back and then have it ready for the spray booth. So it might be wishful thinking, but who knows. But we're gonna come back tomorrow, hammer it out and see where we get to. So I will see you guys in the morning. Alright, day 2. We're feeling refreshed, had a good sleep, the vibes are high, and we are ready to get back into turning this thing into a thing of beauty. So, straight up, we're going to tackle this big chunky hole that we've got right here in the back corner. So what I do here is I grab a piece of cardboard, boom, just like that, and as you can see, there's already the shape here, but what I do is just press fit the cardboard into the hole. So you just line it up, make sure it's all covered, and then push as hard as you can on the cardboard, pull it down, and then you can see there's a shape in the cardboard that is the exact shape that we need. Then we cut that out, stencil that onto some tin, and we cut it out of the tin and start welding it onto the car. And it's as simple as that. Obviously we're going to grind away everywhere on the outside, make sure it's all nice bare metal, so when we grab the MIG we can weld away. And then hopefully that's this back corner freaking finally taken care of and all metal again. Then a nice skimmer bog, sand it down, and she should be Mickey Mouse. I keep literally just standing back here and admiring how awesome this thing looks with the bonnet on. It is time for an update. Been slaving away on this car. By the way, it pretty much looks like Fast and Furious in here at the moment. FD, S13, E36, all the cars. Loving the fact that Woz is doing the fab work here now, because we get so many cool cars in all the time, which I'm freaking stoked about. Also, apologies for this vlog being quite a bit more zoomed in on my face, but I'm using a different setting on the camera. It's got active stabilization. It just means that it's not so shaky for you guys, which is much nicer, but I've ordered a wide angle lens that I can put on this so the next one won't be so in my face. But, you know, you guys love me, so it's all good. So, massive progress made on the Datsun. This is where we're pretty much going to end this video, but look at this windscreen cowling. It's all done. Super straight, nice and smooth, primered with our kind of putty primer, and then obviously the whole car will get primered together with the base primer before the actual base coat goes on. But that is officially finished, which is amazing. Bonnet is done. I didn't show you guys clips of me doing the bonnet, but we really had to power through this to get it ready, because I've booked the spray booth for this Friday at 6 p.m, which means the car needs to go in there, and we're going to paint it. Myself and Cam Martin are going to paint it. It's going to be fun. So, and of course we'll film it so you guys get to watch. But that means that we have a lot of work ahead of us to get this thing absolutely perfect for paint. But bonnet is done. Happy with that, much better as it is. We managed to get a lot of the stuff out just by actually sanding the paint down, and obviously as you can see, all these little bog marks here are getting all the tiger stripes that you guys kind of saw, or whatever you want to call them, out of the bonnet, so that's going to be nice and straight when we paint it, so that's fantastic. Rear quarter is pretty much done. I've just got a couple more wee things to do to it. Ignore like the stuff around here because this is where the flare goes. So it covers it up, but I'm still tidying all that up anyway, making it look nice. The boot, now, I got that nice and straight, well as straight as I could. So remember that we've got the ducktail spoiler that goes here. So that is not anywhere that I really worked on because it's going to be covered by the spoiler. And then up here where you see is much straighter, which is really nice. So that is done. This quarter we didn't really touch, but I've got a couple of small things to finish on this side. We still have these little bits that we've welded metal in to finish, so I'm going to finish that right now off camera. And then pretty much just the doors and guards, which only need a light sand, and then they'll be ready to paint as well because they're quite straight as it is. So we're getting there, guys. I think 2 more days of work and we're going to be ready. Today is Tuesday, so we've got time before Friday to get this thing done, but also I have to prep this thing because we are driving it at Friday Night Drifts on the 9th of December. If you're in Melbourne, come on down. Hurt from Hoonigan is driving, as well as a bunch of other awesome drivers. It's going to be crazy, and it's the Run the Wall layout, so absolutely pumped. But as it sits, that's where we are going to leave this video, guys. Look at this thing. It's just such a beautiful car. I'm absolutely so excited to have this thing back on the road. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit the like button. It helps so much. Let me know what you guys thought of the color grade and the vibe of this video, because if you didn't notice, I've changed it up a little bit. I want to just have my own style on videos and stuff like that, and just stand out a little bit more from the crowd. So let me know in the comments below what you thought. But as always, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video where we're painting this thing. Yes, crazy. You, peace, bye.